Welcome back. The world has recently been rocked by an economic crisis that threatens a backlash that will last years. Economies and businesses worldwide are desperately trying to find ways to minimize the damage caused, reverse the situation as quickly as possible, and to ensure that this global crisis will be the last of its kind. In this context, Gandhi's philosophies of economics are being seen in a new light by some, as a way of overcoming the adverse effects of the global financial meltdown through the empowerment of the world's poverty-stricken communities. In a visit hosted by Sri Lanka's Mahatma Gandhi Centre, former Indian diplomat Professor Veena Sikri spoke with me about how effective these theories could be in reality. Hi, thanks for joining me on the program.
Good to be here.
You're here to deliver a lecture that's on the global financial meltdown from a Gandhian perspective. Can you give me a brief explanation on what exactly the Gandhian philosophies of economics is?
Well, I think to begin, let me just give this one quotation from Mahatma Gandhi. And he said that the world is enough for everyone's needs, but the world is not enough for one man's greed. So I think this whole global financial meltdown is a question of greed of a certain group of people. Maybe they didn't quite know what they were doing, but whatever it is, it has this huge catastrophic effect which has rippled right across the world. And I think if you go back to the question of needs, whether this needed to be done, then you come to the Gandhian philosophy that what is it really that you need? And when he talks of needs, he's talking of the common man. And I think that in today's very complex world, if we try and implement Gandhiji's principles, go back to the village and see how we can meet the needs there, then you'll find that as you build upon from the village, you come to the, the group of villages, and then you come to a district, and then you come to a, a group of districts, a province, and then to the central government, working from the down up. Each layer will, if it's self-sufficient, then it goes to the next layer, and the next layer derives authority from the previous layer. So you have a completely approach, a responsible approach, where everything comes down to the village, and from the village the power goes up to the center.
Yeah, but not just in the West, but even in Sri Lanka, the hub of where everything happens, businesses, everything, is in the city. And these cities are dominated by big businesses which are run on the basis of big profits. Now, how will that, do you think that people will be willing to shift direction to this very simplistic, non-profit look that the Gandhian philosophies
You see,
reflect?
I think the profit motive has its own place. I think that is one of the motivations. But the point about Gandhian philosophy is that it cannot be your only motivation. Now, today, even in the cities in the West, in India, there's a lot of talk of corporate social responsibility. There's a lot of talk of good corporate governance. In fact, a part of the reason for this huge financial crisis, the financial meltdown, has been inadequate transparency and accountability. So, the profit motive is there, but if you take in the aspect of corporate social responsibility, I think why not some portion of the profits? Philanthropy is very big throughout the world. Big corporates are also spending a lot of money on philanthropy. So, put something of it into helping those who are in need. Now, charity is not the answer, because charity never helps. Charity makes you dependent. Being on the dole, being on social welfare, those things don't help. But if you can organize the village level to improve their own lives themselves, then it's fine.
So it's all about empowering.
It's all about
people.
empowering, and people feel committed that way. If you are given responsibility for a certain project, I mean, you'll be very excited about it, and you will do your best to make sure it succeeds. And you will help 10 people around you, then those 10 people will help 10 others, and so on and so forth. The ripple effect is huge. In fact, the whole structure of capitalism has come upon this trickle-down theory of growth, where you say, all right, let the people at the top do very well and make as much money as they want, and then some of it will trickle down and it will reach where it's supposed to reach, it will help everybody. But in practice, the trickle-down theory has not worked.
So is that how you think that we can turn back maybe or rectify the effects of the global financial meltdown?
Yes, definitely. I think that, you know, the global financial meltdown is, the ripple effects are going to be felt for a long time to come, because not only what happened actually with the banks, but the ripple effects in terms of consumption. Consumption has slowed down. Now, once consumption slows down, then people don't buy. Exports from developing countries have suffered. There are job losses in developing countries. So you have to wait for the whole cycle to start again. So why wait for that? Why not do it ourselves? Let's go down to the village. Let's take an example. Take one area. Take one village. Let each corporate adopt one region and see how it works. And in the process, you'll be bringing so much happiness. You know, I think that, in my view, actually, that gross national product is fine, but gross national happiness is even more important.
Well, it seems like it's very relevant to Sri Lanka, where we stand right now as well.
Yes.
But as a final question, can I just ask you, on a personal level, you've been in diplomacy for years now, and how did you get interested in this particular subject?
As I worked 37 years in the diplomatic service, you know, interaction between governments is very important, and that's what all of us do. We interact with governments, whoever the government of the day is. You work out programs with governments, you know, economic cooperation, cultural cooperation, defense cooperation, and so on. But everywhere I went, I saw that none of this is real unless you go to the people's level. And of course, the government-to-government interaction will always continue, and it's very important. But unless it's supplemented by people-to-people interaction, that what is being done at the government level will not be permanent or lasting. It will not trickle down. So that's why in projects like this, which are at the grassroots level, the people-to-people context is very important. So this is why I'm now more than ever convinced of that what Gandhiji said was absolutely right. We have to work at that level, and from there build upwards.
As we have seen earlier in the program, this concept of building from the bottom up is one that Sri Lanka too is attempting to adopt. Our economy is still far from stable, but development appears to be forefront in everyone's minds at this crucial point in time. Avenues for new beginnings are opening up, but it is up to us to use them wisely. That's all we have time for today. If you have any comments or feedback, please write to us at srilankatoday@yartv.net. Until next week, thanks for watching.